Hello students, welcome to my channel Somalin's Bio World. So today I am going to discuss about the central nervous system, that is spinal cord. In the previous video I have already discussed about brain. As the CNS, it composed of brain and spinal cord. So today we will discuss about spinal cord. So here you can see this is the structure of brain and spinal cord, which comprises the central nervous system. The brain, it is then continue as the spinal cord. So the spinal cord is a tube-like structure which is about 43 to 45 cm and it runs in a tube-like structure, that is the vertebral column. Like the brain, which is protected by three types of method, that is the cranium and the cerebrospinal fluid and meninges. Likewise, the spinal cord, it is also protected by all three types of these structures. So the spinal cord, it is a hollow tube surrounding which the vertebral column, which is the bony case like the cranium, it protects the spinal cord from any type of injuries. As we know, the nervous system, it is comprises of the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So the central nervous system, as we know, it composed of brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, it composed of the nerves or the neurons that are originated from both the side of the vertebral column. And there are two faces of the spinal cord, that is the dorsal horn and the ventral horn. So the nerves that are originated from the spinal cord, they form the peripheral nervous system, and the brain and spinal cord, they form the central nervous system. So the spinal cord, it is the connecting link between the brain and the peripheral nervous system. So this is the structure of a spinal cord. If we cut the spinal cord like this cross section and we put it in like this, so then it will be look like this butterfly structure. And the spinal cord, it has also two layers, that I have already told you that it is a hollow structure, that is a tube within a tube. So the outer tube, it is white in color, and the inner tube, it is grey in color. The outer tube, it is white in color due to presence of the axons that are surrounded by the myelin sheath. And the myelin sheath, as we know, they are formed of the myelin fat, and this the fats are white in color. So the outer tube of the spinal cord, it is white in color, and the middle part, it is the grey in color. As in the grey matter, there are the cell body of the nerve are present, so they are grey in color. And this middle part or the central part, they are also, there is presence of intermediary neurons and the cell bodies. So due to presence of the most number of cell bodies, they are grey in color. And like the brain, the spinal cord, it is also surrounded by meninges. So these are the three layers of meninges. The outermost is the dura mater, the middle one is the arachnoid, and the inner one is the pia mater. And I have already told that like brain, the cerebrospinal fluid, in case of spinal cord, it also acts like a matrix which protects it from different types of injuries. So the cerebrospinal fluid, these fluids are present between the arachnoid and pia mater. They are runs between these two layers. And what are the cerebrospinal fluid? These are actually the fluid which are diffuses from the blood and they collected in this layer and they run in between these two layers. And this meninges then gives protection to the spinal cord like that of the brain. So then come to the central horn, and this central horn, it actually passes from here to here towards the brain, and it connects to different ventricles that are present in brain. And the function of this central canal, it's when a sensory reflex action or sensory reflex impulse, it comes to the first spinal cord, then through the central canal it sends the message to the brain, and again the brain, it returns back the response through the central canal and to the motor nerve, and again the motor nerves, they do some actions through different body parts. So this is the dorsal horn of the butterfly like structure in the spinal cord, and this is the ventral horn. If is the dorsal horn means backside, so the backside of our body, the spinal cord's backside is the dorsal horn, and the front side, that is present face towards the front, that is the ventral horn. And you can see here the dorsal horn, they are connected with the sensory nerves, and the ventral horn, they are connected with the motor nerves. So the sensory impulses from different body parts like trunk, hand, and different other body parts, when it comes the sensory impulse, then it first come to the spinal cord through sensory neurons, and again the sensory neuron, it send it to the gray matter, or it's sent to the central part, and again through the central canal it goes to the brain, and the brain, it prepares its response, and again the response, it comes back to the through the central canal, and again through the motor nerve it gives its response. So in this way, so the function of the spinal cord is, it is the center of reflex action, and it relay the message between the peripheral nervous system, that is the different types of nerves that are originates from the spinal cord to different body parts, and between the brain. So the spinal cord, it relay the message between the peripheral nervous system and the brain. And some small reflex actions, it only carry out by only the spinal cord also. As I have told you that the peripheral nervous system means they are the bunch of nerves that are originate from the spinal cord, and again the different types of motor nerve, again they join to the spinal cord. In one way, like in the dorsal horn, the sensory nerves, they will carry the sensory impulses from different body part to the spinal cord, and on the other side, that is on the ventral horn, the motor neurons, they carry the response from the spinal cord to different part of the body, and they show different types of actions. So this was all about today. So let's see in the next video.